So, Zion Williamson. The Pelicans, as usual, are they're not doing the greatest. They're not doing the greatest when Zion doesn't play. And that's been the story of Zion Williamson. When he plays, they're good. When he doesn't play, they're not good. And to be fair, even if he's out, they are a terrible team right now. They're absolutely terrible. Their whole freaking team is injured. Trey Murphy's going to shoot 45 shots a game. But, Zion Williamson has come out and said, well, not officially said, officially said here from the Pelicans on the NBA website of all places. You can see Zion Williamson focused on a return. Looks forward to Pelicans being at full strength. Power forward to Pelicans. Guys are starting to return, so that's going to be great. Hopefully by January. By January. I repeat, man said by January. January. Do you know how long January is? It is November. It is November right now. And apologies, I gotta blow my nose. Pneumonia and stuff. And sinus infection, and obviously, yes, I'm on a lot of medicine, which makes it kind of hard to keep up the energy. But look at the standings right now. The Pelicans, you are 4-12. You are 4-12. By January, you're going to be out of the standings. You're in the Western Conference. You're 4.5 games back on the playoffs. It's been 16 games. You're 4.5 games back on the play-in. Your season's going to be over by January. What's going on? Zion Williamson acknowledged Friday that his recent hamstring injury was a source of major frustration when initially occurred, but he's now in good spirits and focusing on getting back in the lineup. He didn't have any indication that there was an issue during the November 6th game, but became concerned the next morning. Test confirmed he had a hamstring strain. When I left the arena, I felt fine. Said a few hours after the game, no problems on nothing. Got up the next day for treatments and felt more usual. Got it checked, and it wasn't what I want to hear. The initial part is always rough, and your mental after the first week, your spirits are back up. Being around guys helps as well. Asked what he's permitted to physically do. If you ask me, a lot, but you got to follow protocol and guidelines. Rehab's been going great, on track. That's all I can do right now. 24-year-old is looking forward to finally seeing several New Orleans teammates being out of action soon, including Jordan Hawkins. Friday, CJ McCollum was upgraded from out to doubtful on Thursday's injury report. It's very unfortunate about the Pelicans. Hard to believe key injuries, but as a team, we're keeping our spirits up. It's a long season, guys starting to return, so that's going to be great. Hopefully by January, we're in full stride. January. By January. Man said January. It is November. You are 4-12. You are 4-12. It is November. Your team is about to start. Maybe what is the worst starting five we might have ever seen, because your second best player, even if he's out, I think, and you're now going to be looking at Trey Murphy shooting 40 shots a game. I'm sorry, I like Trey Murphy, not as your best player, not as your number one option. I like the guy. He's a guy that, I wouldn't mind him trading Brandon Ingram I think he's good enough that you could rather have him than Brandon Ingram. But at the same time, we gotta just ride off the Pelicans. Just break it up. Tank. Just tank. Honestly, just tank at this stage. The last time you fully tanked with AD, you got yourself Zion. Zion, you know what? When he was healthy at the start, he was all that. He was all he was cut out to be. Zion as a sophomore. Man averaged 26 in his second year. He was unbelievable. Let's not get it twisted. Zion was ridiculously good in that second year. But now we've got Zion, he's a lot skinnier now than he was here. The problem is that I don't know if he lost weight in a good way, because he loses the weight and immediately gets injured again. You're what's going on? Zion Williamson, the guy can't stay healthy when he's big. The guy can't stay healthy when he's skinny. The guy just can't stay healthy, period. It doesn't matter. He could be this size. He could be skinny. And I don't know. I don't know what happened to his body. A lot of people thought he was going to be injured. But it just genuinely seems like he's just... His body just was not meant to be... His body was not meant to be there. He wasn't built for an NBA season. He was not built to play 82 games. And I think that there are certain... LeBron James. I blame LeBron. He probably wouldn't have been expected to play an 82-game season. And he wouldn't have been expected to be all of that. But, he played all those games. I blame LeBron. We've never seen anyone like Zion Williamson. We've never seen anyone of his build. People talk about Sean Kemp, Larry Johnson all the time. Nah, Zion was bigger than those guys. Duke Zion, He was so popular and he burst out of a Nike shoe and cost Nike hundreds of million in share price. Like, there's no question about that. And he's, I'm telling you, Zion is just, like, it's just such a pity. I'm not sure, not that it's been a bigger waste of talent, but like, how long until Zion goes into the Brandon Roy category? Except the difference is the likes of Brandon Roy didn't make Brandon Roy made generational wealth, but some of these guys didn't make absolute generational wealth. Like, Zion Williamson is going to make, what, 200 million at least in his career based on a good second season? And I'm not joking with that. Zion Williamson, I want to see his salary. And like the last time, what's he getting paid based off? He's getting paid 36 million this year. He signed a 5-year, $200 million guaranteed contract. And that was a extension that he signed after his third season. And in his third season, he did not play. So he was injured for most of his rookie season. He played his second season, and he was injured his whole third season. Based on one good season at 20 years old. Yeah, 20 years old, 2021. He was 20 years old. Had not turned 21 yet. Based on a good season at 20 years old, Zion Williamson made 200 million. Man, imagine being like some of these other players in the NBA, some of these old players seeing that. But it's completely crippled. Like, if I'm New Orleans, I know he's not some like picture of health, but like, it's not like Brandon Ingram isn't, like, just, Zion's got value. I don't know what Brandon Ingram has. I stand by it. You should have traded Zion for the first pick. Like, there was all of the rumors that you were going to try to trade Zion for, was it the first pick this year? Or was it last year? Was it trying to get Wemby instead of Zion, which you never would have gotten? I would have traded Zion for the first pick. Heck, even to take Ricochet, I'd still have traded Zion. If you could have gotten that pick, I would have done it. Trade Zion for the first pick and got DeJounte and kept Dyson Daniels there, maybe? I don't know. But, like, the Pelicans are in a horrible situation. And Zion talking January? By the time January comes, you're going to be knocked out. Let's be completely honest here. By the time January comes, Zion, you're done. Your team is not going to be in the playoffs. Your team is going to be so far out in the West, you're not going to make the play-in. And it's just the reality of the situation. Like, that's not a knock on you, Zion. You're playing, like, you were okay when you played. But the play-in is tough to make in the West. And, I mean, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. It's tough to make in the West, especially when your best player is not going to play more than 50% of the games in a season. And I think that's just a given at this stage when it comes to Zion.